like to call to order the regular meeting, May 11th, 2020. Please join Councilmember Hampton in the Pledge of Allegiance and Invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Lord, I just thank you for the day, Lord. I just thank you for this great city of Goodyear that we're able to serve the people in, Lord. I just thank you for just all the staff and all of the first responders, healthcare workers, and military, and just everybody who's dealing with the COVID-19 right now in our community, Lord. Just be with them. Just thank you, Lord, for your protection and for just you being in control, Lord, when people are fearful and anxious, Lord. I just thank you that we can trust in you. I just also want to pray, Lord, for wisdom, Lord, as we're making decisions for the people of Goodyear, God. Just give us the direction to know what to do and make the best decisions for everybody in our community. I just thank you, Lord, for everything you've done for us, Lord, and I just thank you for being such a great and loving and powerful God. In your name, amen.
Thank you, Councilman Hampton. All right, would you, everyone is present as it was in the work session. We have one communication item, and that is an update from the city manager of Goodyear on response to COVID-19 pandemic.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I guess I sat in the wrong seat. Get this situated. So tonight I wanted to provide you with an update on our COVID-19 efforts here at the City of Goodyear. So I have a brief presentation and really look forward to a conversation about where we are and where we've come from on this matter. So this has been definitely a marathon, not a sprint. We've been dealing with the COVID-19 situation now for about 8 weeks. Just as a reminder, really started back on March 11th with a statewide emergency declaration. Of course, here in Goodyear, Mayor Lord signed an emergency declaration on March 19th. Governor Ducey signed his executive order, stay home, stay healthy, stay connected, on March 31st. And now we're starting to see the transition back to opening. So we saw some of our retailers begin their reopening last week, and as of today, restaurants, if they follow certain protocols, were able to reopen. But wanted to talk a little bit about where we are. So as of today, according to the Arizona Department of Health Services, we've had just over 11,000 confirmed cases in Arizona with 542 confirmed deaths. About 6,000 of those cases are in Maricopa County, and in Goodyear, within our 2 zip codes that entitle all of Goodyear, we've had 85 positive cases as of today. We have 33 cases in the 85395 zip code and 52 cases in the 85338 zip code. So staff has spent a lot of time gathering and learning all of the information and providing resources to our residents. This is just a snapshot of the different resources that are available on our website. We have a City of Goodyear coronavirus page. Of course, we have a page dedicated to just supporting our local restaurants, and we're working diligently now to contact all of our Goodyear restaurants to update our web pages to whether or not they're physically open for dining as of today. Nonprofit resources for those who are either in need or have time or resources to volunteer on nonprofit resources page. And I'm going to spend a little bit more time talking about small businesses, but we do have 2 web pages on top of our local restaurant page available. And of course, information is always available through the Arizona Department of Health Services and the Centers for Disease Control. But I know last time I spent time updating council, there was a lot of conversation about small business assistance. And Our role as a city, because we don't receive any direct funding through these programs, is to really focus on information and support. And there's a lot of information out there for our small businesses to navigate. In addition to the CARES Act, the two most common programs are the Paycheck Protection Program and the Emergency Injury Disaster Loan Program. But there's also a Community Development Financial Institutions Microloan Program, and there are grants through the Better Business Bureau grant program. So we're working to assist our local businesses. Economic Development did a survey, and it's actually still open. So they sent a survey out to all of our small businesses, and they have until this Friday, May 15th, to respond to the survey. But I wanted to share some of the preliminary results from our small businesses. We've received 122 responses, and 54 of those who answered said that they have requested financial assistance from the PPP program, and that 33 of them, or 61%, have received funds. Of the 34 respondents who have requested financial assistance from the EIDL program, 8 of them, or 23%, have received funds. In the survey, 43 of our businesses, or 35%, have not sought financial assistance from any source. So we do continue to reach out to all of our businesses, offer assistance, help them navigate all of these different programs. And again, we're looking to get updated information on our restaurants. As of today, Economic Development has talked to 125 of our local restaurants, and 41 of them confirmed that they were opening for in-dining today. An additional 7 others said that it wasn't today, but by the end of the week, once they get all of their protocols in. So President Trump had announced his guidelines for opening up America again, and it's a 3-phase program where in phase 1, they were looking at a downward trajectory of flu-like symptoms and COVID symptoms over 14 days, downward trend of cases, and robust testing in place. Phase 2 would happen when there was no evidence of rebound of virus, and then phase 3, again, is no evidence of rebound of virus, and phase 3 is essentially being open, or what we'll call the new normal. Governor Ducey used this slide in one of his recent press conferences where he talked about how Arizona was headed in the right direction, that we were seeing a downward trajectory of influenza and COVID-like illness, a downward trajectory of positive tests, treating all patients without crisis care, and expanding the testing availability. And so with this is when he began some of those limited openings that we've seen with retail and restaurants. So Team Goodyear, it's been our top priority, and we've been looking to make sure that we were able to pivot and adapt when it was the right time to begin the reopening process. We wanted to make sure that we were able to reopen safely, not only for our residents and our customers, but also for our staff. We are going to follow the 3-phased plan, and there is going to be a continued focus on online services. I think one of the silver linings out of the virus is that we've learned technology can really assist and really help not only us as we conduct our city business, but all of our customers. So as we've been getting ready to open up Goodyear again, we've been paying attention to the physical space. And so you will see in public areas here in Goodyear that you will see barriers between the customer service areas, and I really want to give kudos to our facilities team. These are custom designed barriers done at a much more efficient, and I must say a much nicer looking product than if you were just to buy something. And so if you look to the visual on the left, you'll see the stickers on the floor for distancing, and that's the utility payment area. You'll see on the beam that is there is a guideline, a poster talking about symptoms, and there's a hand sanitizing unit right there on the wall. It's white, so it kind of mixes in. The middle picture is our development continuum, and you really have to look closely, but you'll see that there are black columns, and between all the black columns is a plexiglass, very similar to what you'll see here in this courtroom that we have over on this other side. And then you see the blue markings on the floor for customers. And then finally on the far right, that is the customer service desk at City Hall, where as of 8 o'clock this morning, we've begun, again, staffing these public areas. These are some of the flyers that you'll see throughout the public areas and also the behind employee areas in the city. Employees are asked to check their symptoms prior to reporting for their shift, and further, they're asked to stay home or go home if they're not feeling well. I think gone are the days of pushing through when someone doesn't feel well to get to the end of the day. The safety and the health of, again, our employees and our residents are the top priority. So the City of Goodyear officially started phase 1 as of today. So as of today, Monday, May 11th, we did open our city buildings to the public. All of our playgrounds have been opened, including restrooms. The playgrounds will be cleaned, sanitized once a day, and the restrooms are being cleaned, sanitized 4 times a day. Basketball, volleyball, tennis, and pickleball courts are all opened. They are drop-in only. We are not taking reservations during phase 1. And in addition, Roscoe Dog Park is now open. In phase 1, because it is limited, we're still trying to keep groups to less than 10. We have not opened our city council meetings or planning and zoning meetings to the public, and the skate park and the splash pad at this time remain closed. The Ramadas are open, but again, not reservation. They're drop-in only. So phase 2 is a to be determined. So really what we will now continue to do is monitor phase 1. I know the governor will continue to watch our numbers, and hopefully we continue to see a downward trajectory. If so, I would anticipate phase 2 to be relatively quick in coming. So we are ready to pivot to phase 2 upon that guidance from the governor. And at that time, you will see city council and planning and zoning meetings reopen to the public. You will see the skate park, the splash pad, and very happy to say that you'll also see select parks and recreation programs begin to open. We are ready right now. We've picked a date to be ready, so June 1st. We hope to be able to open our rec programs to be available for reservations and then begin on June 8th. So that is a to be determined date, but I just want to assure council and the public that we know how important those programs are to our community, and we're working diligently to be ready to open them safely. And then finally in phase 3 is when you'd see the mayor remove our declaration of emergency, and we would return, well, you'll see at the top of the slide, to essentially our new normal. I do believe that we'll continue to see some telecommuting, especially in phase 2, a little bit less in phase 3. But I do think that there's been some lessons learned during the virus that will stay with us. Some people are even saying they don't know if handshakes will come back into fashion in business meetings. And so I think that there's a lot to be seen as to what happens as we continue to move forward. I wanted to share, really how proud I am and how amazed I've been with the creativity that we've seen here in Goodyear. On the top left, you'll see an image where our Human Resources Department came up with a virtual first ever employee orientation. Having a new employee on board into the city is a very important event to make them feel welcome and get off to a good start. And so you'll see in this image, Mayor Lord in her kitchen welcoming our first ever virtual orientation. Just below that is a picture of the Maricopa County Goodyear branch. On April 22nd, they began distributing materials through a curbside pickup program. It's been a huge success, and we've had 316 vehicles, to be exact, come through the line, and cardholders have picked up over 1,000 pieces of materials over the last 2.5 weeks. Moving to the top middle, on April 20th, our fire department created a 2-person advanced life support unit staffed with 1 firefighter paramedic and 1 firefighter EMT to address low acuity calls and triage patients with COVID-19 symptoms. As of May 9th, this unit has run 82 calls. This special unit will be operational through next Sunday, and if necessary, we can deploy it again if we see an increase in our call volume and spikes in COVID-19 cases. The bottom middle is Goodyear PD hosted their annual law enforcement torch run virtually to raise awareness for Special Olympics. Top left, the Arts and Culture Commission hosted a virtual Chalk on the Walk contest, where artists created their artwork and submitted their entry via social media. Pictured here is the artwork of one of the winners, artist Ryan Williams, a Goodyear resident and teacher at Desert Edge High School. Ryan dedicated his entry to healthcare workers. And then finally, in the lower right, the Parks and Recreation Department has been providing e-gaming opportunities for the community throughout the months of April, and May. Some statistics is they've had over 11,000 people reach through social media posts, 254 unique subscribers to the department's YouTube channel, 24 hours of stream time, and over 4,000 people who watched the stream. And I wanted to note that this will continue through the end of May with a variety of games for all ages. I also wanted to send a big thank you to the Goodyear team. Everyone has really pitched in to help out their fellow departments, and everyone, we're just simply stronger together. So in the top left-hand picture is our Parks and Recreation team helping our Facilities Department fill hand sanitizer bottles for the rest of the departments. In the middle, you'll see our Public Works team, bottom right, bottom left. Excuse me. The Public Works team used technology to get things done through a virtual meeting. What's unusual there is everyone has their cameras on. I think as this gone on, people have more and more not turned their cameras on. At the top middle, Public Works Solid Waste crew is having a morning startup meeting while practicing social distancing. And just to note that our bulk collections were an essential service, and we're proud to be able to continue that to the community without interruption during the pandemic. The middle bottom is the Finance Procurement Division held their first ever virtual live bid opening to ensure the integrity of the RFP process and the bids received. And this was so successful, it may be something that continues beyond the COVID virus. Top left, our Fire Department Support Services Group built sprayers and distributed to all vehicles to decontaminate their equipment after a call. And then finally, we have a picture of some of our PD officers wearing masks as they responded to a call for service at Abrazo West to help keep the public safe. But I'd also like to thank the Mayor and Council for your leadership and guidance as we continue to navigate through these uncharted times and do what is best for the citizens of Goodyear and our employees. And finally, I wanted to thank our community. With so much uncertainty and sadness at what's been happening as a result of the pandemic, we've been inspired by the outpouring of support from the community with messages of hope and words of encouragement. And these are just a few of them. The first is a mural at one of our fire stations that said, "Thank you for all you do, love our heroes." Another thank you message. And then we also had the Rotary Club of Goodyear Pebble Creek, who donated 200 face shields to our Goodyear fire members. So just very proud of our community, proud of the Goodyear team, and wanted to end by saying Goodyear's a strong and vibrant community. We care about each other, and together we are resilient.
Very nice report.
Thank you.
May I ask if any of you have a question on any of it? Yes, Joe?
On the, you had given us some information before on some of the unemployment for Goodyear. I just wonder if that's gone up or started to, or at least to what percentage has it gone up? And when you do your surveys on the economic development side, any idea, and again, don't have to answer that right now, but any idea on what percentage of our restaurants or some of our small business retails are not just in financial distress, but significant financial distress to the point where, if this thing keeps going longer, they may not be coming back. So what percentage are in that kind of shape would be nice to kind of just get a gist of what may be coming down the road as far as that is concerned.
Thank you, Councilmember. It's the unemployment. I don't believe we have the next monthly numbers, but as soon as we have those, we'll include those in a daily report. I know on the national scene, I think they're talking about like a 14% unemployment rate. So we do certainly expect a spike, hopefully with retail and restaurants beginning to reopen. We'll see that come back down. But yes, it'll be very informative to see what that next series of numbers are. Okay. And as far as working with all of our small businesses and our large businesses, I'm unaware of any that have actually planned to close permanently because of the COVID. I know a lot are really struggling. So I think as soon as we can get reopen and get the business coming back to the door, I mean, it's certainly our priority, but appreciate the thoughts. We're in great communication with them, and I have a report I'll be sharing with council.
I appreciate that, because that's going to be the key as we start to come out of this and start getting stronger. I can tell you by my experience I had over the weekend with one of them on carryout, there's a lot of pent-up demand out there. So I'm hoping this thing turns around pretty quick and there are no spikes, in the in the COVID as we kind of move forward. So I appreciate that information. Thank you.
Yes, Sherry?
First of all, I want to thank you and your team for the last couple months, all the hard work and really uncharted waters. I mean, you can plan for something, but I don't think anyone planned for exactly how this all laid out, except for maybe Bill's group. So I do want to pass on that because I know it's been very tough for everybody right now and learning new things. I have a couple questions. The first one was, and I might have emailed you this, about some of the private HOAs that have playgrounds and ballparks and pickleball. Have we been in touch with them to let them know what our phase 1 is to kind of help get them on the same page? And then my other two questions, I'll just give them all to you at once because they kind of go together. I know in the President's Plan, movie theaters were supposed to be in phase 1. And I don't know if the governor's addressed movie theaters or swimming pools as it's 100 degrees here, those two areas yet.
Thank you. So with regard to the HOAs, through our Neighborhood Services Department, I don't know if it's already gone out, but it's definitely our intent. We just put together our plan over the last few days in order to open today. We've been very visible on social media about our phase 1, but we do want to be able to share how we've come to those decisions because to actually your second question, I think that the President's plan as it was rolled out was guidelines, and he did specifically say that each state would be able to make decisions on their own as they saw fit. When the governor's made his last two press conferences, he didn't really talk about reopening in phases, so it wasn't exactly following the plan that the president had laid out. And so to your specific question, we do not understand that movie theaters or pools are able to open under Governor Ducey's orders. Now, we know that May 15th is the next, that's when he extended the stay-at-home order. And so I think as we get closer to that date, we should have some additional guidance as to whether or not everything is opened. Oh, I should mention gyms. That's the other question we get the most. So it's the pools, the gyms, and the movie theaters. And so as of right now in Arizona, it's my understanding under the governor's orders, those are not able to reopen.
You reaching out to the HOAs and stuff because I think they're going to follow the city's lead as we open. They'll open their amenities to kind of match what we're doing. So I appreciate that.
And I think if I could just add another comment, what you're also seeing among the cities is we're staying very much connected to each other, and we're talking about, you know, what is each community doing, because there's so much of this uncharted territory, and we're all trying to digest, interpret, and figure out how to move forward. I know from the city of Goodyear's perspective, you know, we felt strongly that if one of our residents was able to go into a restaurant and sit down and have a meal, they should be able to come to our public building and pay a water bill. And so that's really that analysis that we had to make, because there was nothing in the governor's order that said, oh, city halls can reopen. So we're having to take the information and really interpret it, and great thanks to Rourke and the legal team and just all of the city departments as we work through those questions. So I know the HOAs are trying to do the same thing.
Julie, thank you so much. I think no more questions. All right.
I'm going to stay put if that's okay.
I just wonder what you're staying for, yes. For those that have just tuned in to the city council meeting, I'm going to have the city clerk give you information how to participate in tonight's meeting.
Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the building is closed. However, our residents have several ways to address the council. They may submit their questions and comments to publiccomments@goodyearaz.gov, and they can view the meeting using Facebook, YouTube, or the link from our agendas using Granicus. And the public may always contact the mayor and council at any time by sending an email to gycouncil@goodyearaz.gov.
Thank you very much. So let's go to the consent agenda. Would you please read this consent agenda, City Clerk?
And just for the record, Mayor, there were no comments at this point.
Okay,
So.
thank you.
Number 2, approval of minutes. Number 3, approve the Goodyear Water Reclamation Facility centrifuge purchase. Number 4, recommend approval of a liquor license acquisition of control for P.F. Chang's China Bistro. Number 5, adopt resolution number 2020-2050, approving a new memorandum of understanding between the City of Goodyear and the United Goodyear Firefighters Local 4005, commencing on July 1st, 2020 and expiring on June 30th, 2021. Number 6, adopt resolution number 2020-2051, approving a new memorandum of understanding between the City of Goodyear and the Goodyear Police Officers Association, commencing on July 1st, 2020, and expiring on June 30th, 2023. Number 7, accept the dedication of 3 public utility sidewalk and access easements from Microsoft Corporation required for the development of the Phoenix 70-PB 303 project. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you. Does anyone on the council wish to remove an item from the consent agenda? All right. Can I have a motion and a second to approve items 2 through 7? Do I hear that motion?
So moved. Second. Did he
I
move?
heard a motion from Vice Mayor Stipp and a second from Councilman Campbell. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. He wasn't looking at me. I wasn't sure. Roll call vote, please.
Vice Mayor Stipp?
Aye.
Councilmember Pizzillo?
Aye.
Councilmember Loretano?
Aye.
Councilmember Campbell?
Aye.
Councilmember Hampton?
Aye.
Councilmember Kano?
Aye.
Mayor Lord?
Aye.
The motion carries.
Well, good. We went through that quite rapidly. We didn't. So we're down to council comments or reports, current events. All right. City Manager, do you have anything to report?
I do. Thank you, Mayor and Council. Pursuant to our ordinance, I am obligated to introduce to you any new directors that we bring into the city. Due to the limited participation, I am going to virtually introduce our new engineering director, Sumit Mohan. Sumit will lead the activities of the engineering department, which includes managing the capital improvement program, street transportation, and traffic operations. He will also lead plan reviews, permits, and inspections for assisting existing and future residents, businesses, and development partners who wish to develop or build in Goodyear. He has decades of professional engineering and leadership experience in Arizona's public sector. For the past year, Sumit has served as our Deputy Engineering Director, and he has demonstrated his leadership by fostering a team-oriented environment with a focus on staff development, quality customer service, and collaboration. He has a Bachelor of Technology in Civil Engineering, Master of Science in Civil Engineering, and a Master of Public Administration, plus a multitude of professional licenses and certifications. Prior to arriving in Goodyear, Sumit worked for the City of Phoenix for nearly 19 years, supporting development services and water services. I would also like to say Sumit is one of the most engaging individuals that you could meet. He radiates great energy, and he has definitely been a positive addition to the engineering department and the Goodyear team. So congratulations, Sumit, on your promotion to Director of Engineering. I would also like to take a moment to virtually introduce our new assistant to the mayor, Rosalba Zimmerman. Rosalba joined the Goodyear team on April 29th and quickly had to acclimate herself not only to a new job, but working in a virtual environment. Her duties include providing direct assistance to Mayor Lord and supervising the mayor and city council team. Rosalba came to us from the Arizona Department of Economic Security, where she had most recently served as their statewide program manager in the Director's Office of Community Engagement. She has split her career between public service and the nonprofit social service sector. Her experience in the public service also includes positions in public safety and public health management. Rosalba graduated summa cum laude from NAU with a bachelor's degree in public administration and earned her public manager certification through ASU's College of Public Service and Community Solutions. We are excited to have her on board and welcome her to Team Goodyear. Thank you, Mayor.
Very nice. Well, excuse me, I don't talk all week because I have nobody home. So my voice is having somewhat of difficulty that I have to talk now. So you'll have to excuse me. I don't want anybody to think that I'm ill. All right. So the manager is, and you've heard no comments, no asking to the city manager on anything. All right, let's go. The next meeting will be a regular meeting on May 18th, 2020 at 6 p.m. No further business. This meeting is adjourned.